रेड फेस्टिवल थोड़ा चलते जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहार जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी गोपी जन वल्लभ वरधान गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवर धारी गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारि 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 जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 जय ओम विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र श्री श्रीमद अभय चरण अरविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। इस्कॉन ब्यूटी फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य श्रोत्र श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। गंगा मय यमुना मय की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी माने हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 13, Verse number 16. Tato vatsan adrishtvaitya puline picha vatsapan ubhav api vane krishno vichikaya samantata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Thereafter, when Krishna was unable to find the calves, he returned to the bank of the river. But there he was also unable to see the cowherd boys. Thus he began to search for both the calves and the boys, as if he could not understand what had happened. As if he could not understand what had happened. Purport. Krishna could immediately understand that Brahma had taken away both the calves and the boys. But as an innocent child, he searched here and there so that Brahma could not understand Krishna's Maya. This was all a dramatic performance. A player knows everything, but still he plays on the stage in such a way that others do not understand him. Om Ajnanatimirantasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangul Langayati Girim Yat Kripatham Vande Shri Guru Dinataran Vanchakalpatreshu Kripa Sindhu Echa Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swami Itina. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is behaving like an ordinary child and is thinking that he doesn't know what's happening. Why? Because he needs to show Brahma that he is not known, that he is like a normal boy. And that's why, to actually understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we need the Acharyas. It is impossible by a speculative knowledge, by our own endeavor, to actually approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why we have so many philosophies. Yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Keshava tuva jagata vichitra, that the world is so vichitra, so amazing, so much variety is there, that as soon as one wants to get out of this material entanglement, there are many philosophies out there which actually hunt you down. Yes, there is Jaimini, there is Karma Mimamsa, there is Mayavad philosophy, there's atheism out there, there is nothing and you just be happy. Yes, there is Charvaka Muni saying that you beg, borrow, steal and eat ghee. Yes, beg, borrow, steal and eat ghee. That's the aim of life. Yes, today we have YOLO, right? You only live once. But Charvak Muni had given it 5,000 years back, that you eat, sleep and be merry. That's the aim of life. Prabhupada says that at least he said ghee. And we don't go below that level, you know. Non-veg was never an option. And that's why it is so degrading these days that Radha Maharaj was mentioning this point. And Prabhupada says, he ended at ghee. He did not go anywhere else. He did not say eat anything and everything which moves, you know. So that is the culture of India. And to make that most widely known, Srila Prabhupada traveled all over the world. And because of the Acharya's blessing, because of the Guru's blessing, one can actually understand what it means to be Krishna conscious. Yes, how these great devotees come and how they get associated to bhakti is an amazing pastime on its own. We were discussing last time that how Radhanath Maharaj, after hitchhiking for 6 months, he comes to the doorstep of India. How did he reach over there? Yes, you've read the book, right? No, you haven't read. Okay, so then this will be interesting. Actually, in Europe, he's meditating in Greece, somewhere in Europe, and his friend Gary and him, right? They both are like meditating morning till evening, and then Maharaj would meditate inside the cave, and Gary would meditate outside on top of the cave. It was near the beach and everything, right? So then one day after a long meditation, they both come running to each other. This is Richard Slavin, who is 19 years old. I can't even imagine at 19, you just abandon everything and then you are in Europe, because he was born in Chicago, in America. And without any money, they just landed in Europe. So then, they both are meditating, and then one day they just start running to each other. And to the others, they're surprised that the other one is also running. Yes, Gary is running, and then Richard is also running towards each other. And they're like, what happened? And then he's like, I heard a voice. And then Gary's like, yeah, even I heard a voice. Because they were meditating to understand what is God going to tell them where to go now. And they were just thinking that, what is God going to tell them? We have so less faith in Krishna. At least I have so less faith. I don't accept all these things at all. If I have any problems, let me figure it out on my own. Forget about meditation. Who does meditation? Who will pray? Let me go and figure it out. If I have money, let me throw money. If I have this, let me do this. But over here, they're asking, they're meditating. They don't even know who Krishna is. They're just meditating on God, whatever they know till now. Yes, the Christian background, Jewish background, whatever it is. And that's why Krishna is universal. It is not secular. It is not Hinduism. Krishna is not a Hindu God. He is the God, absolute truth. There's difference. And that's why they both meditate, they come together, and then they're sharing with each other. What did God tell you to? Where did He tell you to go? And Gary says, he told me to go to Israel. And then Maharaj becomes very despondent that, but he told me to go to India. And that's where they actually part ways. And then he starts walking and hitchhiking. There's no plane ticket, there's nothing. Why? In search of God. The desperation to understand God, to be with God. All these Prabhupada disciples, so amazing. We can't imagine what effort they have taken to find God. So he comes at the doorstep of India, ragged clothes, big beard, and the whole hippie style, get up and go. Now, maybe not taking a bath also. Smelling, everything bad about it, no money. And then the lady at the doorstep of India, at the embassy, at the border, she says, we already have too many beggars over here. We don't want more. You should go back. He just came through Pakistan, Iraq and Iran. And we know those places are not so cordial to anyone, right? And he's told to go back, but God told him. Who is God? God knows. Only God knows, right, at that moment. But God told him, go. And now he's there, he's almost there. But this lady says, no, you cannot come. We already have too many beggars, we have too many problems in India, get out. And he just sits over there, nearby over there. And then the shift changes. And then an actual Sardarji, a Sikh, he comes and takes that position. And again, Richard Slavin tries. And he says, please give me, God told me to come to India. I am not a beggar. I am not here to take anything. And he's pleading. The Sardarji looks at him and says, I will let you in on one condition. If you do something good for the citizens of India, you promise me that you will do something good. And we know Radhanath Maharaj holds up his promise effectively. Today, we have so many Sunday, Food for Life programs. So many communities, Govardhan Eco Village, and inspiration all over the world, who have raised the culture of India, who
Srila Prabhupada himself was the ambassador of the culture of India. And Guru Maharaj himself took it all over the world and within India itself. The youth of India today are practicing Krishna consciousness who had given up. When Srila Prabhupada was trying to preach in India, he said Indians have become so useless. It's no use. He was very despondent about it, that the people of India itself are rejecting the culture of Krishna consciousness. And when he came to the West, he did a miracle which was never seen before. But even while going to India, he was not very well, received. Caste Brahmanas telling him that you cannot make Mlechas and Yavanas into Brahmanas. So very few Indian devotees who became disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But after Prabhupada left, these leaders actually made India great again. Yes, today we see Jayapataka Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, so many of the great leaders, disciples of Srila Prabhupada. The preaching, today you and I are here because of that. If it wasn't for Maharaj's effort in Radha Gopinath temple, we wouldn't have had Pune temple, NVCC. And because of Radhesham Prabhu and all the devotees over there, they started preaching in colleges. I was sitting over there. I did not know that, you were in that Mayavat zone where, eating non-veg is the same as eating veg. Everything is Krishna, so what is the problem, You might be a devotee, you might be chanting also Ram Krishna Hari or other mantras. You wanted, to be a devotee. But then philosophically, nothing, no association. I was thinking that nobody of my age is actually doing Krishna consciousness. So then where will I get people, to actually talk to? Maybe I have to be old. I have to become 60 and then only I can actually share with somebody, what it means to be, a devotee. But then, because in the college which I was going to, my best friend, who all became devotees because of Guru Maharaj. Yes, because of Radha Gopinath community's outreach to Pune. And he walks into the classroom and then we are here today, right? Prabhupada did not have hope for all of us. Yes, he did have hope. But then, after he left, it was these disciples who took their blood actually to make sure Srila Prabhupada's vision came true. And Indians started accepting Krishna consciousness as it is. And today we see so many temples, so many temples over here and there. Mayapur temple growing so big. TOVP project which is going to open next year. Why? Because Prabhupada's mercy flowing through his disciples, which is coming towards us. So, Maharaj promised that Sardarji over there, that officer over there, that yes, I will do something. He made sure he made the Bhakti Vedanta hospital. It is so difficult out there. If you go to any hospitals and all, go to any astrologers over there, right? They do not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They cannot actually pacify the soul. A person who's already having pain in the body is actually feeling pain in the soul also. And Bhakti Vedanta Hospital is such a perfect place. Why? Because not only the body gets healed, but because of that healing of the body, the soul is also getting healed. Why? Because they maintain their Krishna consciousness over there. What a vision. Maharaj, in New Vrindavan, Prabhupada wanted 7 temples. And Maharaj was trying so hard. Whenever he used to get money, in America, during his preaching, from Russia, wherever it was, he was giving it to New Vrindavan. You make the temples over here. Prabhupada wanted it, But some of the other issues came up and always it was used somewhere else. Gaurang Prabhu mentions that the vision never stopped for Maharaj. Why? A real disciple, will always have his Guru's vision in front of him, not his own pleasure and pain. Yes. So remembering that, Gaurang Prabhu was saying when they were trying to establish Govardhan Eco Village in India, Gaurang Prabhu was saying they were searching so many properties. And so finally they got Govardhan Eco Village property. And then they started building the Vrindavan forest, they built everything. Now it's a tourism place. It's a very, very beautiful place. If you go to Vrindavan, yes, it is magical. But you will see so many things which our material eyes cannot envision Vrindavan. But if you go to Govardhan Eco Village, right? It is actually the forest. It actually feels you're in Vrindavan. I was there when I was staying and I woke up at, for Mangalarti. So it's like, it's a very big place. So the resort is inside and Vrindavan Bihari, the presiding deities are called Vrindavan Bihari. And so they are at the entrance of the property, And so from that place to that, you have to actually walk through the whole darkness and, the lights. And I was walking, and then I was walking through the pathway, and then there were lights, small street lights and everything they had put. And then you attended Mangalarti and then you started doing chanting. And I was chanting and I was going through the forest. The 7 temples, the small replicas are made. There's Radha Govinda temple, Rupa Goswami's Radha Govinda temple. Then there is Madan Mohan temple. Then there is Yamuna. There's Keshi Ghat. There's Gopishwar Mahadev. There's Radha Raman. Gopal Bhatta Goswami Samadhi, Loknath Goswami Samadhi. And all of these places are there, small. And then there's, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Damodar. And I was walking through the whole places. And at one point, it became so dark because in the forest there were no lights. There were only lights on the pathway. And I was walking through the forest. And then something moved. It just went across my step. And I got scared, because there were animals moving here and there, right? You don't know what big rodents or, what is moving over there. And I got scared and I was like, oh shoot, I should get out of the forest. At that moment I was thinking, yes, I'd heard, Maharaj talking about the gopis' surrender to Krishna. I was thinking that actually in Vrindavan, the same place, right? There were tigers when the gopis actually left everything for Krishna. And right now, in the morning, I am not fearless. This is a place where at least there are no tigers. And I am still fearful. But the whole atmosphere felt like Vrindavan. What Prabhupada mentions in Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam, the river flowing and Krishna, sitting somewhere, talking to the gopis, having the Ras Leela. All these pastimes, they have dioramas everywhere. So beautiful. There's Giriraj, Why did he establish all that? Because Prabhupada wanted a place where all the world can come. And today, all these people in India, in the US, when they preach about yoga and all, they take a trip annually to Govardhan Eco Village. And over there, it's a rule. Yes, this is Maharaj's mercy, that one day, how should I say, a white-bodied person was actually chanting Hare Krishna. And then Maharaj saw, he was taking a morning walk, he saw that he's chanting Hare Krishna. And then there was a brahmachari walking nearby. Maharaj went to that brahmachari and asked, did you tell him to chant Hare Krishna? How come he's chanting Hare Krishna? And then he became very scared. Maharaj, no, I didn't tell him to chant Hare Krishna. Oh, okay, good. You didn't tell him to chant Hare Krishna. Why? Then Maharaj actually asked that person, why are you chanting Hare Krishna? What happened? Like, why are you chanting? What are you chanting? He's like, no, I saw everybody else chanting. And I felt maybe it is something which I should try out. And that's why I'm chanting. That is preaching. That is preaching. Usually we have to tell, kar lo thoda do mala. Because people are gone so down that they do not know that they should actually see and then chant Hare Krishna. But the atmosphere in Govardhan Eco Village, they've made each and every person, nobody, even the senior devotee, they do not tell anyone to chant. They live by the example. Why? Because by example, that person will stay forever. Yes? And that's why Maharaj made sure that Prabhupada's dream may not have manifested the same. Maybe it will manifest in the future for New Vrindavan. But it will manifest in Govardhan Eco Village. And that's why we have the same temple as Madana Mohana in Vrindavan, right? There's Madan Mohan temple. The same temple is made in Govardhan Eco Village. And Madan Mohan, the same deity, same to same deity as in Karoli, is in the actual temple of Madan Mohan. The pujari from Madan Mohan, when he came for the installation ceremony, he said to Maharaj that now after 500 years, Madan Mohan is back into his own temple. Yes, that pujari has never gone out from Karoli, Maharaj was saying. Only 4 or 5 times in his life he's gone out. And one of that time was for the installation of Madan Mohan. And that temple is there. Such opulent dressing, such opulent aartis, Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Why? Because the vision of the Guru should never go. It can be delayed, but it can never go away. That's the surrender of Maharaj. And that's why when he entered India and he was walking and he was traveling so many Babas, he saw everything. Usually we are very attracted to all these other philosophies, whether it's this philosophy, that Baba, this Baba, and so many Babas out there, right? And you go to Himalayas, there are so many Babas. So he had gone everywhere. He was walking in the Himalayas. He was staying in a cave for 30 days, eating 2 carrots every single day. On 30 days, morning till evening in Rishikesh, sitting on a rock, meditating. He had not encountered the devotees yet. He was just meditating. And Prabhu, the altar will open in 5 minutes if you want to wait. 5 minutes only. Yeah. So he was meditating for 30 days, morning till evening. And then what happened is actually, on the 30th day, he actually heard the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from Ganga herself. And with that, he was actually traveling and chanting Hare Krishna. He did not know what it meant, but he was chanting Hare Krishna. He comes to Mumbai randomly. And he's actually enrolled in a Buddhist program. Every day they would meditate for 16 hours. You have to actually meditate for 8, but he used to meditate for 16. And then after 16 hours of meditation, for weeks he was doing that. Shri Radha Madhava Hare Ki Jai. And after weeks of meditation, at least 7 days he was doing, for a week they had this whole thing. They said that you can actually go out, for taking rest and somewhere. He starts walking out barefoot, because that's how he used to walk. No money, nothing. He's walking barefoot. And just walking barefoot, he sees a big banner in the middle of the square. Or I think he saw a big balloon which said Hare Krishna, And then it was 1971, March of 1971, 25th March 1971. And it was the talk of the town. It was the greatest festival Srila Prabhupada had ordered his disciples to create at Cross Maidan. Yes, Cross Maidan. And in Cross Maidan, the pandal was so big. Every single day, 10,000 people were attending Prabhupada's lecture morning and evening. And 20,000 people used to come and go, some people just come and go and take prasad. These white-bodied disciples, the white elephants of Srila Prabhupada, Giriraj Maharaj was there, Sham Sundar Prabhu, Yamuna Mataji, all of these people were there. They were dancing. In the morning, they used to give chant Hare Krishna. Morning, Prabhupada used to give Hindi classes. In the evening, Prabhupada used to give English. Yes? For his disciples also, right? And they, in the middle, they used to chant Hare Krishna and do everything. So, Maharaj asked someone with a big beard, big matted hair, right? And wearing raggedy clothes, no sannyasi clothes or anything, t-shirt and pant. He was walking and then he asked, Kidhar hai? You know, he just took like, where is the Hare Krishna festival? And then he walked and he saw 10,000 people. He went in the afternoon. And then he went and he saw one devotee. And then he saw Yamuna Mataji singing. He saw so many white-bodied, they were shaved heads. They had shikhas. And they're chanting Hare Krishna. He had never seen this before. Out of his whole journey in India, he had never seen this. He had never seen it in the US. And he was shocked. What is going on over here? Who are these people? How come they are chanting Hare Krishna? You know, where did they get the mantra from? And what is this going on? So then at a bookstall, he met one white-bodied devotee. And then he brought him to Giriraj Maharaj. And he was a brahmachari at that point. And Maharaj was having a service to actually poke holes into Back to Godhead magazines and tie the whole thing with a rope to a table. Why? Because the Indians were actually stealing the Back to Godhead magazines. This is normal in India, right? And so then Giriraj Maharaj said, do you want to do some service to this hippie? And he did not know each other. They did not know each other, obviously. And he said, can you guard these Back to Godhead magazines and poke holes in them and tie it to the table? That was his first service in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And he was doing it very happily. And then he was reading Krishna book, actually. And the person actually came and took the book back. Why? Because he knew he's a beggar, right? He cannot afford the book. And he's already had too many books gone like this. So he's like, give me the book back, you know. And then he takes the book back. And then Giriraj Maharaj says to him, are you going to wait? He's like, yes. Our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, is going to give a lecture now. Please wait. Like, who is this person who has made, all of these people into this? So he was going to wait. And he was all the way in the back. 10,000 people, we can imagine now, right? For Radhanath Maharaj's yatra, if you go, 10,000 people sit in that pandal. Yes. And Maharaj alone sits on the Vyas asana. Imagine, like, we all sit over there. I've been to the yatra. And we see, right? Obviously he cannot see us. And this hippie, yes, at that moment at least, he was standing at the back and he was not able to see. Prabhupada actually came and he sat on the Vyasasana. And he was not able to see what's going on. He was trying to see, but Maharaj is very shy in his dealings. So he was not going to push anyone. Yes, he was not going to push anyone to see. But if I was there, obviously you're going to push, right? I'm tall enough, so you just walk through the whole crowd. Like, who cares what anybody feels, right? And then he saw Prabhupada talk to Gurudas Prabhu. And Gurudas Prabhu comes down. Maharaj had the desire to see Prabhupada, but it was so far. Gurudas Prabhu starts walking through the crowd, and then after a few steps, he holds somebody, and then he sees at Prabhupada. Back. Prabhupada again hinted, no, not this. Then he was going back. And finally he comes to Maharaj. And he's like, he catches hold of him. And Prabhupada says, yes. He drags, Gurudas Prabhu is actually huge. He drags and he pushes everyone. And he drags Maharaj all the way till the front. Not only till the front, he takes him on the stage. And he says, Srila Prabhupada wants you to sit beside him. He has never seen Srila Prabhupada in his life. And Prabhupada, and he goes and sits, and he's very awkward. He doesn't like these situations. And he looks at Prabhupada, And then Prabhupada looks at him and he just nods. And Maharaj gets to know that, he's saying it's okay. You can sit, no problem. And then after the whole class, Prabhupada walks up and says, you should come every morning and evening to the class and attend class. And then he just nods his head and he goes and actually tries to touch Prabhupada's feet. And nobody is allowed to touch Prabhupada's feet. All of his disciples, somebody actually said, nobody touches Prabhupada's feet. And then Maharaj was already down on his knees. And then he looks at Prabhupada and he feels very ashamed and fearful that he did a big offense. He being stayed in India for so long, it was obvious, right, to touch feet of great people. Prabhupada looks at him and he's like, he can touch my feet. And then he touches his feet and Maharaj says that I looked at the person who said no to him, and then every single day, morning and evening, whether he was talking in Hindi or not, he sat over there for 7 days. And on the last day, we'll come to that. On the last day he walks, they all took a procession of Radha Ras Bihari and everybody, the deities, and they came all the way till Girgaon Chowpatty to actually Marine Drive, the place where the temple in the future is going to be built, Radha Gopinath community. And they had a big festival on the last day over there. Prabhupada actually coming to Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, the same time Maharaj was saying, Shyam Sundar Prabhu said this, that in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan in Marine Drive, Prabhupada actually had a class. He comes down from the class and then Shyam Sundar Prabhu and all of them are there and he says, Prabhupada says, this is nice place, and he points out somewhere, and he says, we should have a temple over here. Nobody knew of this pastime, that Prabhupada had actually exclaimed that we should have a temple over here. After many, many years after Radha Gopinath community was established and the struggles which they had, and after Radha Gopinath was established, everything was done, Shyam Sundar Prabhu reveals this aspect. Prabhupada actually at the steps of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan said that this place we should have a temple. And Maharaj mentions that this is the desire of a pure devotee, that Radha Gopinath come and reside over here. That is the power of a pure devotee's desire. So today is the Vyas Puja festival and we remember Radhanath Maharaj, that by his humility and compassion with all these pastimes which we have shared, it's unimaginable to think how Gopinath community was made. The extent of pains and pressure, the pains which he had to go through New Vrindavan, it just gives a glimpse of how dedicated he is to Srila Prabhupada. I pray that, one day we have the same kind of dedication to our gurus, the same way they have for their Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, so that we can also make them proud. Yes, how Srila Prabhupada must be pleased with all of them. That may we make our life goal to please and actually make them happy. Yes. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Radhanath Swami Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.